Good morning, happy Thanksgiving. Today, I know it's late to do this turkey demonstration, but you might not be able to use it today, but I'm gonna keep it, you can keep it in your memory for the next time you want to make a turkey. And a lot of people shy away from making a turkey. I don't know why, they just go to grandma's or they go to their Aunt Mary's. But you young ladies who've never made a turkey, this is a simple method. This is not no Food Network chef style of turkey. This is a plain, simple turkey in a bag. My mama taught me to make it. No fancy homemade stuff in here. But this is a family recipe we've been using since I was home with my mama, and it seems to be very popular. Nothing fancy, so even the beginner cooks can do this recipe. Okay, we have an 18-pound turkey. I have it in a quick brine. Usually they want you to brine it overnight for 8 hours. But I just took my turkey out of the refrigerator this morning. I noticed it still had some ice crystals inside the cavity. And it is 18-pounder, so it fits in this 22-quart container, which is handy to have around. And I just put some kosher salt and cold water. You don't want to put hot water in here. And I just basically did it to thaw out the inside. The turkey also absorbs the salt and gives it good flavor. So the tricky part is I've never had this kind of container. So taking the turkey out, we're going full live here, so you might just be in for a treat. I noticed that it said to take out the giblets and the neck. And I did take out the neck because you want to cook the neck for your gravy or in the giblets. But it was downside. It was face down, so the giblets are there. So I tried to turn it and it splashed all over me. So I'm just going to have to take it out, put it in a colander, and try to get those giblets out. You're supposed to do it ideally before you put in the brine, but mine had ice in there, so I couldn't get it out. So here we go, folks. Get Mr. Top Turkey out. I have a colander in here, so I'm just gonna, excuse me, here it is. These bags are the heart, the giblets, and the liver. And people usually throw this away. This is essential, not essential, but you use this when you're making your turkey gravy or putting in your stuffing, which you have to boil in advance. I don't generally do it, but because it grosses me out. But here you are. Here's what they look like. The liver, the heart, supposed to be good for I'm going to give it a quick rinse. And now I'm going to put it in some water to boil, to which I will add the neck. And I'm going to add some onion and celery to that. But now we have our turkey out. We want to rinse the turkey because you want the salt out of there. You don't want it to be too salty. And when you brine a turkey, you don't have to brine a turkey. I don't always brine a turkey, rare. But today I decided to brine because different years I do different things. So you just need to rinse it. It's in the colander, and it'll just sit here waiting till we get ready to come back to the turkey. But the sauce over here, I'm going to throw in the top of the celery, onion. I'm going to be all over here, but we're just getting real here today in Deb's kitchen. It's not, and I'm going to cut this onion in half to put into that, give it some flavor. And then we're just going to boil that till it's soft. And then we get on to our dressing. Okay, now we're ready to make our easy stuffing. And my mom always used 1 box of each. We always use Mrs Cubbinsons brand. And it's really good, so I don't see why to change. But I use cornbread and 1 traditional. In the back, you're going to find the instructions. We basically follow the instructions for this stuffing. And what we put in our stuffing is kind of one unique ingredient most people don't put is either raisins or cranberries. You can make your decision which one you want to use. It's going to have onion, celery, chicken stock, and of course the dressing. And I have homemade chicken stock here, but if you don't have it, you can always use the canned broth or chicken stock. So first thing is we're going to have per box 1.5, excuse me, 3 sticks of butter. So we are going to melt this, move this out of the butter, and then we're going to chop our vegetables. We're going to melt the butter on low heat because we don't want to burn it, and then we're going to saute our vegetables. So I'm going to use the food processor for my vegetables. It makes it a lot easier for me, and I don't like big chunks in my dressing anyway. I'm using 1 onion. It says a cup of onion and a cup of celery for each box, so that would be two cups of onion and 2 cups of celery. But I always just use 1 onion and about 6 or 8 celery stalks. So we're going to take this over to the food processor as soon as I chop it up. Okay, so we're ready to put the vegetables in the food processor. This makes it a lot easier for me because I don't have to be dicing and chopping. Comes together quickly too. So you have a food processor. I would use it if you don't like to have big chunks in your dressing, which I don't. Or you can use a knife and mince it. Okay, as you can see, we have finely diced celery, which I prefer. And this is going into our pan right away. No need to clean it because they're all in the same place. We especially want to dice this because a lot of my family members don't like onion. So they don't like to find big chunks of onion. How easy was that? No tedious chopping. So we're going to dump it all in there and let it saute around. I'm going to stir it up for a few minutes till it gets a little soft. It's all in and I spilled butter, but don't mind me. And it's, if you can see, I don't want it to cook. I just want to soften it up a little bit. And as soon as I get my stuffing ready, it will be perfect to go.
You still have it on low?
Yeah, it's on low. And I would say probably you're going to have it on there for about 5 minutes. I'm going to turn it up actually a little higher than the low setting. The low's kind of low. So we're going to cut our stuffing up. Now here, I'm just coming over to this tray, which I'm looking to put my turkey at. But it's easier, you need a big vessel, a bowl, a tray, something. These are ideal. Pour it all in, the whole bag. And we're using a turkey bag today. And also, in my turkey instructions, Butterball has some instructions. I just follow the instructions for cooking my turkey in the bag. Tells you how much to cook an unstuffed bird, a thawed bird, a frozen bird, and it goes by pounds. So if you have 18 pound and it's stuffed, it'll tell you how many hours. If you're not stuffing, it'll tell you how many hours. So basically, we have the stuffing here. We're going to mix it up a little. Now at this point, you can add anything to your stuffing. Some people put chestnuts, sausage, whatever you like. In our family, my mom always put a raisin, and some people don't like it, but if you don't like it, don't add it. Today I'm adding cranberries. Sometimes I add walnuts. I'm adding a cup. Sometimes, but usually we add raisins. I might have a little bit of raisins too, because actually I like raisins. So I am gonna add a little bit of raisins. Because I always loved raisins. But the cranberries are more what's trending right now in gourmet cooking. Cranberry this, cranberry that. So now we have it all mixed. Then we're going to bring our saucepan of veggies over. Hopefully I won't spill it because this is a heavy skillet. I won't spill it, the skillet. Okay, we made it safely. So now just stir it all together. This makes a lot of stuffing. This is like for a 20-pound bird. I stuffed my bird and then what's left, I put it in a foil packet and I put it in there. Or cheesecloth with the turkey. Okay, so everything's pretty much, you can see how the consistency, kind of moist, but not totally. You don't have to add any seasoning, salt, or pepper. Everything's inclusive in here. So now I'm adding my broth. Just follow the box instructions like I told you, and it gives you all the measurements for how much turkey stuffing you're making. This is 3 cups. So I'm making 2 boxes, which is what I always make. I love the stuffing. That's my favorite part. And I actually love it better the next day. I eat it cold straight out of the refrigerator. And I haven't found a dressing recipe that I like out of the turkey that I enjoy as much as I enjoy turkey and the bird stuffed with the turkey. People say, oh, salmonella, whatever. You won't have any problems. I've been doing this for 30 years and my mom did it all my childhood. We never got sick. The problem comes when you try to stuff your turkey in advance. Never do that. That's when the bacteria has chances to grow. So you just make your stuffing the morning of and stuff the turkey and you should have no problem. And next we're going to get our turkey ready. Okay, the first thing you want to do now, we have our turkey. You're going to stuff it. Just pat your turkey as dry as you can. Makes putting on seasonings better. And your turkey will be more crisp. Okay, so your turkey's legs are bound. Usually you take them out and truss it. Well, you tie it with string, but I just leave it in there. And here's the seasoning I'm using. Pepper. Oh, excuse me. Mainly I use garlic salt and seasoning salt. Today I'm using garlic and onion spice and rosemary garlic. You don't have to use that. But I just, every year I just try different things. But normally it's just garlic salt, seasoning salt. So we're going to bring our stuffing over here. I'm going to wash my hands one more time because I'm going to use them to stuff the bird. Okay, our stuffing's ready. I'm not going to season. If you didn't brine the bird, you could sprinkle some seasoning there. Just turn it up and sprinkle some seasoning. But since it's brine and has salt, I don't want to make it too salty. Just wash my hands really super good. Then start stuffing your turkey. It's the inside cavity. I push it all the way up as far as it can go. And you look here. Just take hands full and stuff it in. Oh, I stuff both the neck and the inside of the turkey because I want to get as much stuffing possible in there. And you stuff it till it's coming out of the cavity. And at this point, you can use the flaps, these to pull together and I can't find my little turkey kit with their little like steel needles, oversized needles, and you just put them through to hold this together, and then they come with string, so you like tie them like you tie your sneakers, you know, your Converse, like, and then you pull it and tie it in the bottom. Since I don't have that, which some years I haven't because I just forgot, I'm going to wash my hands again because I'm going to cut some foil. Aprons are always a good thing. I always use aprons because they're like a dishcloth that you're carrying around with you constantly. So I'm just going to take this foil and tuck it in, and the stuffing will not come out, but I do it kind of loosely because it puffs up. And then I take the tail, which is just here, and I'll stick it in here like a plug. And then I'm going to turn my turkey over. Try not to dislodge the foil. I should have probably done the neck first, but next time. And the neck has a big flap of skin, so that gives you a lot of room. The neck's not very deep, but I take advantage of this big pocket of skin to stuff as much stuffing as I can in here. See? The skin stretches, so whatever you think you can get in there, stick it in there. Now, since I don't have those steel things, which is what I always use, you have to improvise sometimes. So I took one of these skewers, kebab things, and I'm just gonna put it through to hold this skin in place. So that'll do the trick. And then I'm gonna wash my hands again. Okay, I just washed my hands again. When you're handling poultry, do not touch spices and then the bird, raw bird. So always wash your hands in between. You usually leave them open so that you won't have to try to open them with your hands that have been touching raw poultry. I just wanted to tell you, there's a lot of seasonings. I get these seasonings at Marshall's, or they even sell them at Marshall's and Ross. These are gourmet seasonings. They're very cheap. They're $3.99. They're fresh. They're not expired. Some people are worried. This one's rosemary and garlic. The chefs, when they make these compound butters, fancy, they put basically spices and soft butter, and then they rub it all over. So I'm just gonna, this one's garlic and onion. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on there. And then I'm gonna turn Mr. Birdie back over. And these are dry. Be careful that you don't get your stuffing falling out. Ideally buy the little kit. It has like 6 little steel needles and some twine, so you can easily just close that. But this is what you do if you don't have access to that. So don't touch the top of the bottles. Here's the garlic one I'm putting all over. Be generous. You don't want bland bird. Nothing like bland bird. And a little bit of the rosemary. Just drizzle it over. You want your turkey to be covered in seasoning. And since we have brined this, I'm not going to use a whole lot of garlic salt. That already has garlic. But I just like the seasoning because I think the seasoning salt gives it that orange crispy look. And then lastly, I melted some butter, and I'm going to drizzle it. This is a butter ball. It's supposed to be injected with butter, but it doesn't have to hurt to add more butter. So I'm drizzling, and I'm going to massage, give them a nice massage. The wings, get some on the wings.
Nice hot butter massage.
And this is all going in to a bag. Okay, your turkey's ready. So now we have the turkey bag. This is the tricky part. Because you usually need 2 people. So we'll see. Take out the bag. It tells you to put a little bit of dusting of flour in it. This is just to like when you put flour in your cake pan. Same concept. Now, the hard part.
Will we hold it?
Yeah. You need the camera guy to put it underneath the turkey. And kind of slide them in. I forgot to put pepper, so I'm putting a little bit before I close it. But I have enough seasonings. Since some of the seasonings fell off and transferring it, I'm going to kind of spritz a little more of it. Then I have my tie. This is twisted. There's a little nylon tie that comes in there. You're going to just basically thread it through one of the holes and pull it through. Okay, I finally got it through. You kind of have to work with that. And then it requires you to make a few holes in there. Don't make huge holes, but I just get a knife and I just make a few holes. Okay, here's the leftover stuffing. I forgot to put it in the bag, but I'm going to add it. Better late than never. So I'm just going to make a packet. Then what I'm going to do is, on the part that's going to be downside, I'm going to make a couple of holes because the juice will be coming out of the turkey. I'm going to put it in this corner and it'll be going into the stuffing. Okay, I added the packet of stuffing on the bottom. Our turkey is ready to either go into the oven or you can put it into your roaster. And as I told you, it comes with a guide in the turkey bags. I like it. Tells you what to do exactly. Preheat your oven to 350 and put the flour in your bag and shake it out. And then put in your turkey, either stuffed or not. Ours is stuffed. It even gives you a lot of directions for you. So for here I'm going to look on turkey stuffed. It tells me that a 16 to 20 pound turkey stuffed needs to go into the oven for 2 3/4 to 3 hours. I just say 3 hours. Until it has an internal temperature of 165. You can use a meat thermometer if you have one. If you don't, they have these little turkey, let me get it, timers that you can put in the thickest part where no bone is. You put it on the breast, and when that little thing pops up, your turkey's done. So it's ready to go into our roaster. Okay, we're ready to transfer our turkey into the roaster. Usually I would use my oven, but my oven has been on the blink for 2 years. So I use my little convection oven, but we're in the process of remodeling, so you'll get to see the evolution of my kitchen. It's going to be totally reconfigured. This kitchen has seen a lot of usage in 30 plus years that we built our house. So I'm looking forward to my new kitchen. And we'll be doing it in December, so you might see me cooking at other locations, teaching people in the meantime. So we're going to get our turkey in here. This is a heavy turkey. This is always the hard part. But basically, pick it up, transfer it to the rack. There's a rack in here. And this can probably just barely handle an 18-pound turkey because I tried a 22-pound one time and I had to put foil and tent it and it was a disaster. Anyway, let me get the lid. We have it at 350 for 18-pound bird. We're cooking it 3 hours. So I'm going to set the timer for 2 hours and then I'll come and check it. And just if it's fine, I'll leave it for another 3 hours. Then I'm going to have I have a temperature. I'm going to check the internal temperature. So basically, that's really all there is to it. And we will see you back when it's done. Okay, I forgot to add this. I usually put a cube of butter on top, smash it on top so it can melt onto it. Because some of the one we put was already rolling down the turkey. Make sure your turkey is not touching the sides if possible, because we don't want to scorch your bird. But yeah, it's ready to go. And at 2 hours, I might season it up a little bit more, but we're ready to go, and we'll see you when it's done. Here we are at my daughter's. The turkey's done. This little pop-up came up. That means it's done. Put it in the thickest part of the breast. If you can see, my turkey is pale, but it's fully cooked. And the reason is I have to cook it in my roaster and doesn't have any heat on the top. But it's still just as good. I would prefer to cook it in the oven, but here's the stuffing, look. Yum. As you can see all this nice gravy, I'm going to skim off the fat, and we're going to use this to make our delicious turkey gravy. You can tell the turkey's done because the leg comes away easily. And as you see, the bottom, the roaster cooks from the bottom up. So our wings are nice and brown. And we're going to carve up our turkey, and we're ready to eat. So let me taste the stuffing.
Oh yeah?
Just like Mama used to make. Okay, this is all ready. Our turkey's ready, our gravy, our mashed potatoes, loaded potatoes, and other guests are bringing other delicious things. And our gravy is getting made right here. This is made from the drippings. We're waiting for it to thicken up. So we're just about set, and then I'm going to strain it. So if you like this video and like these holiday dishes, don't forget to like and subscribe. And in the comments, you might want to suggest some dishes for the holidays that you're interested in. And have a blessed Thanksgiving with your loved ones.
Also, comment down below something you're thankful for. Like Charlotte.